Hey friends, it's Ian Khan, the Futurist, here at the Humanoid Summit in the Bay Area. I've got Joe with me, and Joe is gonna help us understand what's happening within the robotics industry, where are things headed, what is currently developing. Joe, welcome to the summit, first of all.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Futurist. Help us understand in your own words, what do you guys do?
Yeah, so we're big believers in the power of touch feedback for robots. I think people are going to be expecting humanoids over the next decade to do more than just gripping bins and picking them up and toting them from place to place. They want real work done. And the only way to do that is to convey a sense of real human touch. My company, 1HMX, makes haptics gloves. We are the best haptic glove to control robot hands from a distance. So you feel what the robot hand feels, and the robot hand is steered by you.
Yeah.
And we're also expanding now into a bigger rig that lets you bring your whole body into the situation. It's not just your hands, because bipedal robots have legs and they need to move around a space. So our technology called Nexus 1HMX, Nexus NX1, that technology lets you walk on a treadmill in motorized shoes, and in combination with the haptic gloves, lets you really teleoperate a robot dexterously.
Yeah, so within robotics, I think there's a few different, milestones that we need to cross, which is, pressure and how robots can hold something and crush something. You don't want them to crushing eggs if that's not something they need to do. Or within different, let's say a healthcare environment, a childcare environment, robots need to know the touch and the feel. How is that evolving? What are kind of the areas where there's no progress? It's like, this cannot be solved for now. So you're doing the haptic glove. How does it work? Does it work with sensors, with pressure sensors, pneumatics, electrical? Help us understand some of that.
Yeah. Well, the most important thing is that the touch feedback is realistic enough to be useful. And the way we do that, we make the touch feedback realistic inside our gloves, is we use compressed air, of all things. We push compressed air to the right spot so it presses into your skin. So when the robot finger touches the child's skull in the childcare situation that you mentioned, you feel that contact at that moment, and maybe to stop pressing so hard. And so, to your question, the human hand is very complicated and very powerful, and that's why it's taking so long, I think, to move beyond parallel grippers into dexterous hands. And so we can connect with nearly any robot hand, as long as there are sensors, touch sensors on the fingertips and the palm that can send the data back to our gloves. And once that connection is made, it's a very simple, easy thing. You get the motion tracking working, and you are just naturally moving your body and your hands and powering a robot. And that's going to be the key to productivity, I think, in these robots.
Applications? What about applications? Help us with what are you focused on right now in your research?
Yeah, I mean, it is a very general purpose tool, so it can be used for anything, but high dexterity, high manual skill jobs that use your hands could be medicine. It could be maintenance of equipment or operation of equipment. It could be something as simple as being able to open a door successfully and turn light switches on, or use tools. Really, we have a customer that is desperate to be able to send a robot in to pull cables out of servers safely. So there are 1,000,001 dexterous tasks that need to get done by robots, and that's where our technology comes in.
Incredible. What do you foresee the next 3 to 5 years within the robotics industry doing, developing, growing? What are some of the breakthroughs you think will happen for sure?
Well, it's all evolving at such a rapid pace, with so many new companies bringing software and model training and hardware to the space. that I think the biggest challenge and I think the biggest area for improvement is simply standards and coordination and interplay between the technologies to build safer, more dependable robots. And that just proving the ROI slowly by demonstrating that the robots can do what they say they can do, even if it's just a limited number of tasks, and can do it safely in a trustworthy manner with natural human control. I think that's going to get us to a really good jumping off point within the next 3 years.
When you talk about sensor data translating into an input, it goes to the kind of the central system. So a lot of data is generated everywhere. Everywhere we do anything, data is being generated in some way or the other. What about some of the ways this data is secure and it's being protected so that nobody can hack into it, nobody can hack into my hand sensor data and make it do funny things? Like, how's that evolving?
Well, there's something about that that I know and something I don't know. I mean, security is not really my specialty or my company's specialty, but what I can tell you is how important it is when it comes to the kinds of data that come out of our system. What I've heard is you can tell, it's very much like a fingerprint or an iris print. You can identify a person by the way they move just as quickly as you can identify them from a fingerprint. Everyone has their own unique body style. And so as we're collecting this data, and we collect tons of data and send it into computers, it is vitally important to protect it because it's PII. Your motion, your movement, even minute movements, the way we gesture, the way our bodies move, that's all going to be protectable and needs to be kept secure.
Excellent. Last piece of advice for anybody who is trying to get into the robotics/AI industry. Is this a good time? Is this a not good time? Where are we headed?
This is the only time. This is the best time. When you are on a sort of growth curve like we're on, with investment coming into the space, with the smart minds who want to go solve problems, wanting to solve these problems, with government investment in China and potentially growing government investment here in the United States, this is the time, and it won't last like this forever. It'll go through contractions as well as expansions, but come do this and have two things happening at once. It's kind of a dialectic. Be infinitely excited and aggressive, but also infinitely patient, because it takes longer than you think.
Incredible. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us here. It's such a pleasure talking to you. Good luck with the summit here and then the rest of your work, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you for future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent.